Hello, and welcome everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to host your own Puck server. For those who don't know what Puck is a physics-based hockey game. It's a free-to-play game on Steam. It is created by Garfix. It's nicknamed on Discord. It is inspired by Hockey Question Mark, for those who know what Hockey Question Mark is. So today we're going to just go through the quick and easiest way to do this. One thing for sure that you guys do need to know is that you are going to need to run this on a Linux-based system. Your PC does not have to have a Linux OS in it. You can use virtual private servers and other console terminals to access the Linux-based systems. For this one, we are going to be using OVH. Another thing is, if you guys join the official Discord, the link is in the description. Our good friend Toki Wartooth has created a guide on how to install it as well. It is now, every time I click it though, in the Discord it says it's V8, and every time I click it, this comes up. So please ignore that. The way that it will still work the same way. Now this guide is very useful and very handy, and I do heavily recommend it. Zoom in here. I just maybe wish there was a little bit more control options here. One thing for sure, for networking requirements, you are going to need to go into your firewall and allow all ICMP protocols with echo request checked off, and then also allow 777 UDP. For this installation, we're going to go under the assumption that you already have all those set up, that you are just looking to really get into and just get the rest installed. OVH, another thing too, is another setup. This one I'm going to create a separate guide on. Same with the firewall, allowing the protocols. I will be creating a separate guide on how to do those and get them set up. Now, the other things you're going to need is FileZilla and Putty. These two are very useful and helpful with the setup process. FileZilla is a FTP and SFTP solution. Client allows you to put in files into the terminal, while Putty is a SSH and telnet terminal connection. Allows you to connect to the SSH and all that. So, to get us started, the first thing that we are going to do is install FileZilla and Putty. So we're just go here, download FileZilla client, click download. You do not need to do all these. You don't need to purchase these, but if you want to, you can. We're just going to click the free version because that's all that we need to use. Nice little ad that takes up your entire screen. We're going to click off that. We're going to go into the Putty download. Again, all these links will be in the description, so you do not need to find it yourself unless you want to. Make sure you grab the correct installer for your thing. If you do not, it will not work. So for us, we have a 64-bit by 86. Download that. Come back to here. Just make sure put us in the right spot on the guide too, because everything that we are using here is also in the guide. So come down here, click our downloads. So I've already installed these, so that's why they 1 and 2s are on them. So we're going to open Putty, start with that one. Click next, next. I add a shortcut, install. Click yes on that. Any pop-up pops up, just click yes. Finish. It's gonna pop up README if you have that. If you have that checked off, you can check it or uncheck it. Exit out of those. So now Putty is installed right here. Then go back, FileZilla, click yes. If you want to read this, you can. I agree. It's gonna load. Accept. This is actually Avast. I do not want Avast. If you want Avast, you can. I do not want it because it pops up an annoying browser. It's so stupid. You can allow it for just you or all users. I'm just going to do all users. I'm the only one that's really on this computer. And actually, I do want a desktop icon. Click next. Next again, unless you want to change the install location. And click next, and now it's going to install. Finish, and it'll start up FileZilla. This is what you're going to use to transfer your files. So, now when you have OVH set up, what they typically do is send you a invite, not an invite, but an email with your login info and a link to generate a password. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up Putty, which is going to be our terminal. The login, I'm going to maximize this for us to make it easier. What you put in the host is the IPv4 address. For us, it's this one, so we're going to copy. If you remember it, you can just type it in. Just click paste. Now remember this port. Whatever port's right here is what you want to put in FileZilla. Right here. We'll go over setup on this in a second. So once you have it, your port in, IP in with the port that you want, connection type, click SSH. I don't know what these three are. What I use are Bear or Telnet. Click open. Now when it's your first time, whoops, I'm trying to get rid of, okay. When it's your first time connecting to it, this will pop up. You can, if you don't want to update the cache, click connect once. If you want to trust it, keep on trusting it, click accept, which is what we're going to do. This is where you're going to log in. Since the OS I use is Ubuntu, they gave me the login user for title Ubuntu. I think that's going to be the same for if anyone that uses Ubuntu and whatever OS they use. But if you use OVH and use a different OS, and it may not be that same username, but it's all going to be in the email that they sent you. Click enter. From here, you're going to load up the email, the link that they sent in the email to generate your password. Type it in. Sorry, it is a really long one, but after you do this, it will prompt you to create a new password. And you will have to type this in one more time. So now it's loaded the VPS in. So it's going to ask you to put in your current password one more time. And it will not show you your password while you're typing it, so if you think you messed up, just keep pressing backspace until you think you're at the end. Now you're able to type your new password after you enter that. So choose whatever you want to use, make sure you remember it. Oops, see, I messed up. If you don't remember it, I can't really help you on that one because I don't fully know. My best bet would just tell you to reinstall the VPS to your dashboard, which will bring me to my point. Since I did that, that is normal for it to just close out because what it's doing is just refreshing and rebooted. If you make a mistake and you want to start fresh, you want to go to your dashboard on the OVH under OS distribution, click the three dots, reinstall. They'll send you a new email with the same username but new password link. Boot, you can reboot it. You can also reboot it in rescue mode. Very useful. Alright, so now we're going to come to the guide and open up Putty, reconnect, and then all you gotta do is relog in. And then you should be able to use the password you just created. And now you're in. One thing to just get you started on that you could do is sudo apt update. This is going to update everything. And then you're going to apply the update, you're going to do sudo apt upgrade. Oh, it is case sensitive, so do not put capital letters unless they're needed. Y for yes, and it's going to load that. As that's loaded, we're going to go over into FileZilla, Site Manager, My Sites. Click down here, you're going to see a couple options. You're going to click New Site. I'm going to name this Puck Server, because that's what we're doing. Protocol, go SFTP, SSH File Transfer Protocol, and connect to the host. Yeah, that's where you're going to put the same IPv4 address that you did in Putty. Oops. And then this is where you use the same exact port. So it has to, remember, it has to be the same one. You put it off, it's not going to connect. Put in your login if it's required. So in this instance we have one. And your password. Oops. Kind of got a little distracted. Lost my train of thought. And then connect. And now it's also connected. So now on this side, on our terminal, we just applied the upgrades, or the updates, and now they were upgraded. So now we are good to move forward. So now with this one, you don't fully need to use this. Now if you do create the servers through the SFTP file for Puck server, which we can show you how to get real quick. That's not the correct game. You come into your Steam, go to your library. I'm just going to exit the search. Make sure you have tools checked. And then I have it favorited, but I'm just going to search it because that's what you probably want to do for the first time. And it's called Puck Dedicated Server. That's going to have an install. It's a very quick install. And then you launch it to download it, and it'll pop up in your downloads. But we don't need that. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, with everything I'm going to show you in this setup, you do not need to do that. All you need really FileZilla for is to really get this, the directory. So now from here, we need to install SteamCMD, the Steam commands. There, and then right here in the guide, you can find them at step 2 with the update, and then it shows them all right here. I wish I could highlight. Now, here you can see they're all single line. You can, if you do it correctly, you can group them up and do it all in one line, which is going to look like this right down here. Sudo add dash. You just gotta space them out and separate them with. I keep forgetting what that is, what that symbol is. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started to the install. So we're going to Control C and copy that. Come to our terminal. make it a little bit bigger for you guys to see. And we are going to click on the right mouse button to paste. Click enter. Click enter again. Now it's going to load and install everything. And again, if you know how to separate them, it's going to be a lot faster for you to do it all in one command. Now that that is installed, we are going to use the sudo apt install SteamCMD. Control C on that. And remember, if you are copying and pasting, to make sure you right mouse button and not use the Control V. It will not work. Press enter. Then you're going to press Y again. It's going to install that. You're going to be greeted with this nice little pop-up. I use the right arrow key and then enter. Down arrow key, right arrow key, enter. And now SteamCMD is now installed. Now, this is where if you had the SFTP, this is where steps can change a little bit. Essentially, if you have that, you skip this next step and you go straight to the step after. But for this one, we are going straight into the step right here. And what this is going to do is install the Puck server, your custom Puck server, into the game and put it in there for you, and all the files in there, so that you can actually load and host your server. So we're going to make sure we copy that, or if you need to type it in, it is in the guide right at step 6. And make sure again, if you're copying and pasting, right mouse button, enter. Now it's going to start loading that. Get all these little installs. It shouldn't take too long, only take a couple seconds. And if you have a lot of internet traffic going on, it may take a little bit longer. So now it's going to connect and make sure that everything is okay and ready to it's good to work, and then update it. While this is going, one thing I will say is with these is once you set it up the first time, if let's say you want to, because one of the things is you can't, like, if you close this your terminal, it's going to take the server out and take it down. So if you want to like put it, customize it or edit, you need to take it down real quick. Or if you don't want to keep your PC on and running, and you have like a suitable laptop or another PC that you can use, then all you do is reinstall Putty and FileZilla, and then redo the next command that we're about to go into. So now that you got to this part, we are going to go into the next command. This is essentially going to put your server up on the listing in Puck and allow you to connect and play. And also customize any details about it that you want. So for me, we're going to Control C. He does have it, Toki does have it all right here. Now one of the things is, as you can see in his guide, if you can see that, well, let me try to zoom in for you. In his guide, he has it with a dash. I gotta tell you from my experience with that, is it didn't properly work. So this is where FileZilla comes in handy. You're essentially gonna go down onto the remote site section. And I'm going to make it big just so I can. Oh. Alright, we're going to make sure we connect to it. We're going to just reconnect to it. Just to make sure we do it correctly. Alright. To make sure we did this correctly, before we actually go into the next command, to make sure we did this correctly, press ls. Okay. And then, so this should pop up. You should see Puck server. Should kind of highlight it like that. That should pop up. If you don't see it in FileZilla, it's probably just not fully updating. But it should also be there. Now we're going to test this out to make sure that there's no errors. But now you're going to type in your directory for that and your server info. You got to make sure you get the right directory just if you have to fully type it out. Alright, so here essentially you got your directory, the file, your port, and then your name. If you want colors, this is the color command. Come all the way down. If you want a password, if not, you just leave it blank. Make sure you use the parentheses. If you do not, it will not work. Each Puck server can have up to 15 players. So for my server, I'm doing a max of 15. And then VoIP. I have VoIP activated. It's basically allowing people to connect their microphones and talk in-game. Click enter. And if you did it correctly, well then congratulations. This is what you should be seeing. Now that we have it up and running, we want to verify that it is actually up and running. So even though we got to this and it's like, oh hey, congratulations, you still want to confirm. So we're going to load up Puck. I love how fast Puck loads. I really do. And it goes straight into it. Server browser. And just search up your server. If you did it correctly, it should show up. If you did it incorrectly, well, I'm sorry. We gotta go back and see what we did. Most of the time, if you, whoops. I meant to actually, what we're gonna do is also load in. When you're checking, you should always load into the server just to ensure, play around. There's no bugs happening. Nice. And we're gonna exit the game. If it doesn't work, most of the time the issue is you didn't properly install SteamCMD or any of the commands that is required, that go through SteamCMD that we did. Most of the time it's going to be the force install of the directory. If you did not do this command correct, that's most of the time going to be your biggest error. Your other error is probably going to be this command, but I don't think Steam would install without that. Or you implement the commands in the incorrect order. The order of it does kind of matter, if I'm not mistaken, especially, well, really with this one. This one has to come after SteamCMD. If you do it before, it's not going to work. Same with this one, has to come after you do the directory. Oh, yeah. But some other things though too is, keep in mind, if you close the terminal, which we will do, just to reload that because I need that. What this is going to do, it's going to take down the server. You're going to reload Putty, reconnect, and relog in. And then all you have to do, recopy and paste this. Just like this. or retype it out. I recommend you copy it and put it on a notepad or do whatever is best for you. Enter, and your server is back up and running. If you want to, you know, do what I was kind of mentioning earlier of transferring it onto another computer so that you don't have to use your main PC and keep that open 24/7, depending on how long you want your server up and running. Just reinstall Putty and FileZilla, connect, and retype in the same command. Other than that, you are pretty much all set to go. You now have your very own Puck server. I'm sure down the road there will be more customization to it, like maybe adding logos and designs on the pucks or the jerseys that you can do through this. But as of right now, there is not. Another thing that you can do is turn it into a service so that you can have multiple puck rinks going at once. As soon as I figure out how to do that and learn that, I will definitely make an updated video for that, with that included. Also, one that has probably a little bit better editing, or some editing, because I'm not good at it, so I do apologize. But another big thank you to Toki Wartooth for definitely helping out and creating that guide. It was very helpful, and all the help that he gave me was, very clear, crystal clear, and straight to the point for me. And it worked instantly. As soon as he walked it through with me, it just boom worked. So definitely don't freak out, don't panic, don't go kind of do what I did at first and open like 40 different tabs and with 40 different answers, because you're probably gonna just end up doing extra steps that you don't even need to do. But other than that, thank you guys so much for checking out the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want some more videos or more guys, leave a comment below or like or subscribe. I will be again. What is a Puck server? Puck server. Puck is a hockey, physics hockey. I will be uploading a guide again on how to set up a OVH VPS server. And what was the other one that I just said? Well, I forgot, but I will be uploading other guides kind of in relations to this, such as the OVH setup. Other than that, thank you guys for checking out the video. And for those who saw me do it live, thank you guys for coming into the stream, checking it out. I'm going to maybe not make your guys' eyes freak out. Alright, thank you guys for checking us out. Hope you guys have a great one. Adios.